welcome to the show. So, someone very interesting today, the real Stephen Taylor. We're going to find out why he says that. But Stephen is one of the hosts of our brand new shows called Talking Point with Stephen Taylor. And I know they chat about a whole lot of things and a lot of celebrities come on the show, but he's one too, so I'm going to find out why. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Faizal, thank you for having me, man.
Now, it's interesting having you on that side. I know that it's a much more relaxed position. So I'm waiting to come onto your show because that's going to be the flip of what we're doing. But I recall sometime, I think it could have been some months ago, you contacted me, said you need to do this program. And I think one of the things that came out in all of that was social change. And I know you're involved with all of that. So I want to talk about all those things in this 26 minutes. But before we do that, I want to find out more about you as a person. I know that you have lots of interests, lots of things that went on in your past, things that define you as a person.
Yes.
But who is the real Stephen Taylor?
That's an interesting question because I'm still trying to find myself.
Because I see the Twitter handles on your t-shirt.
At Stephen Taylor SA, yes, is my
and we can have that up on screen for people so that you can follow Stephen on Twitter, because I know you're heavy on Twitter.
As like you know, always sharing our opinions, getting things out there, you know. And as you say, social change is important, and something that's always been, you know, inside of me and what I believe in. And as when I was young, I want
to talk about that.
Even
when you were young, because
school days, I was wanting to make a change. And you know, like when I was 15, I started on radio when I was 15. Can you believe that?
That's early. But I want to talk about before that.
Okay.
Where were you born? Where did it all start? The family life, the mother, the father.
I was born in Mowbray, Cape Town. Still to date, I don't know who my father is. That's still a mystery, really. It is.
Are you serious?
Yes, serious.
You don't know who your father is?
No.
You know who he is?
No.
There's
been DNA tests. There's been people that have, a guy that has come along and said that he's my
father. How do you know if you're the real Stephen Taylor?
I know.
Because you don't know your father.
I was adopted.
Okay, interesting.
Okay. I'm letting out a lot here, Faizal. Come on,
you're
man.
Gonna have to.
I know.
Our viewers want to know. They want to know who this is.
I was adopted when my mother got married. My mother had my sister, who is 2 years younger than me. I had to think about that one. And yeah, her father adopted me, so that is why I came up with the surname Taylor. Otherwise, my real father I would have taken his surname.
So you don't know what his real surname is?
I don't know who he is.
So does this mean that the other part of your lineage before that, you're just not sure that and where? So that means you don't know who the grandfather is and who the grandmother is?
No, I know that. Oh no, from his side?
Yes.
No, I don't. I've never met that side of the family.
Do you feel that? Are you okay with that, or do you feel there's a loss in something?
Look, for much of my life, I felt lost, and you know, I felt alone, and it really did. It affected me a lot. But I had to man up, and I had to pick myself up, and you know, I learned a lot.
When did this become conscious? It's like we understand that kids grow up and things happen, but there's a time that these things become conscious to you, where you really start thinking about it. Was that at a younger stage of your life, or was that at a later stage?
I traveled with my mother to England in 93, just before 94. And from then, from the age of like 10, 11, I started asking questions, but it never meant anything. It was just questions at that time. And then by the age of like 15, 16, you know, in my later teens, it became a problem because I saw everyone else like having fathers and that. And, you know, when I got to my matric dance, where's my father?
But Stephen, there's a difference. There's a difference in terms of someone being absent and they're not knowing who they are. I can't seem to come to terms with the aspect that you don't know it is, primarily because was your mother not supposed to know?
Look, I don't know. My mother, I've tried to ask her, she's come out blatantly and saying that the guy that I have met, look, we had 2 DNA tests done and it proves that he is my father. No, it proves that he's not my father, sorry. The 2 DNA tests prove that he's not my father, which to me is a mystery because we look the same kind of, and we act the same, but that doesn't mean anything. It comes down to the DNA test, and the DNA test said that he's not my father. So that is still, you know, I sit with that and it's very emotional, it hurts a lot, but I've had to man up and, you know, through my belief system, I've gotten through it and it's been hard, it's been challenging.
You're 32 now.
Yes.
So a long time has passed, and
Yes.
I suppose that mulling over it is not going to make any change right now. You have attempted to find out who it was.
Yes.
And that was.
But I've given up. Many years ago, I gave up. And I think being in the entertainment industry, being in radio has helped me to, because I was very shy when I was at school. I mean, people that know me, that are watching this, that went to school with me, will probably tell you that I'm
What are you
totally
doing on TV?
different. Yeah.
It's one of those cases.
Yes.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. So I was bullied.
Yeah.
That was also a problem for me because, I mean, not having a
You speak a lot about that.
Yes.
I see you on social media, and whenever we have chats off shows, you talk about those things, about the bullying aspect, and we can go into all of that again. But we're looking at, so you get into school, so your mother becomes the backbone, I suppose.
Well, there was still that love-hate relationship because, I mean, you want to know who your father is. You want to know, like...
But you grew up with her,
I grew up with her and my sister. And, yeah, it was hard. It was tough. I mean, we struggled through things, and I went through things that, and bullying was one of those things because I never had a father there to teach me, like, do this or do that, or don't do this or don't do that. I had to figure it out on my own.
Do you believe that your life would have been any different if your father was around? Do you not feel that because he was absent, that you have become the person that you are because you needed to survive?
It made me stronger, yes. It made me the person that I am today. It made me more caring and more, caring about other people that go through stuff in their life because I know where I came from. I know that
So would you change anything?
No.
You wouldn't change it?
No.
The need to know is there, but you wouldn't change anything?
The need to know is there, but the need to know is not a big part of my life anymore. I've gotten over that. And I am the person that I am now, and I'm blessed, and I'm thankful for the person that I've turned out to be, yes.
So who do you define as the real Stephen Taylor? Who do you define? Do you say that he's a caring person, he thinks about this, he's conscious about that? Well, what do you define? How do you define yourself?
Sure. Well, obviously I'm a socialite. I get to go out and go to many events and stuff like that. Yes, I get to.
You seem to be very happy about all of that.
Very interesting.
Very in place with all of that.
Yeah. I get to meet some very interesting people, yes. But I mean, if you came to my house and you saw me, you'd see a different person because I'm at home.
Quiet.
At home I'm quiet. I'm shy in a way still. Until I get to know a person, then I obviously, open up a bit more.
People find that strange.
Yes.
They find that strange because I experience a similar sort of thing, and that's on stage and out on TV. There's this other person, and then behind the scenes there's this other person.
They don't understand.
And the Jekyll and Hyde story goes, and people are like, really? And I said, yes, really. So if you put me in a room with one person, I might be a bit shy.
Yeah.
But put me with 10,000 people, I'm fine.
No, yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah. Well, I had to grasp that as well, like going in front of many people, emceeing events and stuff like that. When I first started doing that, I was very shy, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is hectic, but you get over it. And what I can say to people is that there are obstacles in your life for you to get over, and it makes you stronger, it makes you the person that you are. And no one can bring you down, because when you do go through hectic situations, you know what you've achieved, and you know that, okay, I can get through this. Look at what I have been through. I can get through a lot more. Yeah.
So what do you do in your spare time? I know that you're always busy socializing somewhere, or then then you're at the channel, then you're at hashtag radio, then you're at Clicks Radio.
Yes.
So you're kind of all over the show.
Yes.
But there are those moments that you're on your own and you do the things that you like doing, that no one knows about, that they might just find about right now.
Yeah.
What are those things that you do? I mean, is it reading? Is it?
No, I don't read, but I like to, reading a book, I don't do that. But reading, educating, informing me of what's going on in the country and around the world, for sure.
We're not going to talk about your political persuasions. We have serious disagreements as to why South Africa is the way that it is, but that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not every day that we get to talk about it.
Voting on August the 3rd, that's for sure.
I know you're voting for too, but without our spy cameras around, but that's fine. So anyway, you get through school,
yes.
And I always use this example. I say that if you look at the caterpillar, for example, and how things become and morph into other things, that happens through life.
Yes.
So when you look back today, you say you wouldn't change anything, but you find yourself building on that foundation.
Yes. It is a foundation.
Yes, of course. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, obviously we're given the life that we're given, and we can't sometimes choose the life that we're given. We can't choose our parents, we can't choose the people that we grow up with, but we have to, the situation that we are in, and I know that many people struggle on a day-to-day basis. I mean, poverty is a big thing in South Africa. But the life that you are given, you need to take that as a foundation, as you've said, and work with that, and make yourself into what you want to be and not what other people want you to be. And you can't stand around as well waiting for something to happen, because I promise you it's not going to happen. So it's up to you.
Notice that about you, and if I may say,
yes.
I noticed one thing about you in our interactions and when we started, and that was you don't have a problem asking and looking for opportunity. Like many people will come sort of around 50 bushes before
yes.
they come for something, and I noticed you will come to me and say, what about us doing this, and how can we do that? Can you phone this guy? Can you do that? And I like that, because that shows growth and development. But where's that come from? Because you say the male figure wasn't there in your life to sort of teach you how to ask and how to become something. So where did that come from?
Well, obviously,
a need for survival?
Yeah, a need for survival, but obviously along the years I've had people that have stood by me and obviously kind of mentored me. One in a radio term was well-known Cape Town radio presenter Benito Vergatini. He kind of took me under his wing and helped me a lot in terms of understanding radio. Also Sean Katz, who I work with at Clicks Live, another person. So these are people that have not only been my boss, but I've gotten to become friends with them on another level, and they've kind of mentored me and kind of also made me the person that I am today, because we all make mistakes. I mean, the first time I went into radio, I was nothing like I am today.
So you listen to that today and it's like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
That happens to me. I look at things that I recorded 10, 12 years ago and I'm like, put that off, that's not me.
Yeah.
That's somebody else.
Yeah.
But Stephen, so we look at all of that development in your life and you're becoming somebody and something, and you go into media. I always ask people in media this question: why are you in media?
I don't know.
People have different answers for this.
Look,
and it's always interesting to see what you're going to say.
It is interesting. Look, I never studied media. I never thought that I would get into media. I grew up listening to radio every single day. When I got home from school, that's the first thing that I switched on was the radio.
Did you ever think that this is what I want to do one day? So it never crossed your mind?
No, not at all.
You never thought I want to sign an autograph one day?
No.
So it wasn't an aspiration?
No. That's not what look, when I used to listen to radio for the chance of winning something, and I won a lot. I mean, I won many things on radio, yeah, for sure. But it changed from wanting to win stuff to wanting to be there. Because I thought, okay, I'm listening to these people, but there's something there that is like, I'm wanting, I'm wanting to get out of this, and that is the fact that I can do this.
You do not think that you went into media for one thing, and that's perhaps something that you never thought about that, but I thought about it when I looked at you, and I still do think about this, and that's, I feel that you might have similar aspirations in terms of wanting to effect change. And to effect change, one needs the vehicle and the platform to effect that change. I see that coming across in your programs on the different platforms. Are you sure maybe that's not maybe the instinctive?
Look, it's one of the things. It's one of the things for sure. It is. It's one of the things because obviously when I go out, people can say, oh, there's Stephen Taylor. And through that, I'm able to do more. So when I approach a brand and say, look, I'm doing this charity event, can you partner with me? Can we do this? And they say, okay, yes, because they know who I am. So that helps. So yes, you're right. That is.
Well, the other reason is you're after a Lamborghini that's maybe green in color, whatever it might be.
I'm not. No.
So.
Look, I'm not like that at all. I mean, what I'm given and what I have, I mean, yes, I'm blessed to have clothing sponsors and stuff like that, but I mean, it doesn't define who I am. If I don't have it, I'll still be able to go on. Yeah.
Tell me about a life-defining moment in your life. Something that happened down in your life that you feel today sort of is a pivot in terms of how and when you make decisions. It's something that you maybe live your life by. I don't know, what is that defining moment in your life that has changed the way that you see life?
That's a hectic question, eh?
But we have them. They happen to us. These things happen to us so that we act a certain way as we go along in life. But we don't sometimes realize until someone says, what is it that defines your decisions?
Yeah. Well, I think, I've had many things that have happened in my life that have helped me to, learn about people. Obviously being bullied is one of them.
You keep mentioning that one.
It is a big
Why?
thing. It is a big
Why?
thing because it affects,
have you got past it all?
It affects I have gotten past it. It affects your self-confidence and affects who you are, because when you go to school and you're being physically, abused or verbally abused.
If I may ask, what ages was this when this started happening?
That was the old standard 5, which I think is now grade 7.
For a long time.
It was predominantly in primary school. When I went to England, I lived in England for a year or 2 with my mother, because she's British. So I was bullied there, and that's where the bullying started. And it was hectic.
Do you believe that today you walk out of your home, come to one of the stations that you're involved with, and you're able to say, sorry guys, all of you that beat me up down there, look who I am today? Do you sometimes feel that way?
I consider myself a survivor, yes. And I consider myself to be blessed. And if I have to look at those people, I'd say, look what I've achieved, what have you achieved?
So that means you still bear some form of...
No.
It's there, Stephen,
well,
it's there.
It is there, yes. It's always going to be there. It's always going to be there for the rest of my life, because it happened. I can't take it away.
But you know what? I think you've got a message to those people, and that is that I don't think many people realize that sometimes when you become successful, it's built on the negativity that you might have experienced. So you are today because of the things that you have gone through in life.
Yes.
And so at some point you say to hell with it, thank you. Thank you for doing what you did. I'm not endorsing bullying, but I'm saying that sometimes you become who you are because of the challenges that you need to go through. And I think that you might have just crossed that bridge.
But bullying, like mental health, it's a silent killer, because people are ashamed to speak out, because it's not something sadly, it's something that's normal every single day. It happens. I've been to many schools to do motivational talks and to share my experience of what I've been through. And there's so many people that come forward and say, look, Stephen, I'm being bullied. What do I do? I says, look, but... So then I have a hard talk with the principal and say, look, this is going on, because the principal sits with me in those talks that I do. And I say, look, this is going on in your school. Do something. Be the change. You can't just invite me here, but then when I leave, it's over. It's not over. It carries on. So do something. Make a change.
Stephen, there are many people watching the show now that perhaps maybe youth out there experiencing the same problems you did. You appear to have walked a very difficult road with regards to the parenting aspect of your life, and different people have different challenges in life, and somehow life irons it out somewhere along the line. What's your advice to those youth out there that want to be the next real Stephen Taylor?
Look, don't give up, and the most important thing is that you need to believe in yourself, because people are going to bring you down. Because sometimes people see you as a threat. People see you as a threat. People see me as a threat for some reason. Even political leaders in our country that I've been involved with political parties, higher people, see me as a threat. Why? I don't know. Can I explain it? No. But it's just who I am, because maybe I come across as authoritarian, I don't know. But just believe in yourself, and when people push you down, pick yourself up and say, I can do this, and do better. Rise above it. Yeah. Nothing is impossible.
So there must be some people in your life that, although I have this feeling that there were certain voids as you went along, but there must be certain people in your life that sort of made the change, that helped you to become who you are. I'm not talking about the post-school stages. I'm talking about the stages where you're sort of still in school, still trying to get on your feet, becoming who you need to become down the line. Who are those people?
Well, funnily enough, when I was in high school, one of the teachers came up to me and said to me, Stephen, you know what? This was in my matric year. She said, I've been praying for you since you were in standard 6.
One of your teachers?
Yes.
Were you that bad?
No, come on. Really? No, she said to me, and that humbled me a lot, because here's a teacher.
And you never knew about this, and she was like, She was rooting for you somewhere in the background. So.
She believed in me. And when I heard that, I was like, that humbled me a lot, and that motivated me a lot, because I mean...
You felt the entire world was against me, and no one is pushing for me. And there's...
You hear stories like that, and there was many like that, because I mean, people can see who you are through you. When you stand there, you look in the mirror and you see nothing. People can see something, and that is what is important.
I always believe that every human being has the ability, their soul has the ability to see the other soul. This is my perception. And sometimes people have this thing where they say, but by instinct I know this guy is a good guy, or by instinct I don't want to go near this guy, but you might have never spoken to this guy before. So how do you determine all of that? So I believe that the soul has a way of seeing the other soul and telling whether this is a good person and I should be involved with that person or not be involved with that person. I don't know what's your thoughts around that.
Look, I think we shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but I mean...
I think the judgmental aspect is one. But it's that internal feeling.
Yes. The weird thing is that I've learned that we all have a presence. And when a true leader walks into a room, you know. Like I've met, like F.W. de Klerk, when he stood behind me, I didn't know he was there. He came, he tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, Stephen. I stood up and I was like, oh my goodness. Kgalema Motlanthe the same, former president of South Africa. You know...
Did you feel the same when Zuma came in? You can't say no comment if you want to, it's fine. Stephen, I know how you feel. Look, I know how you feel, it's fine.
Look,
you felt it.
When he walked into the room, I mean, I knew he was there, and I mean, he's a funny guy. I mean, when you're in a room with only...
We're not going to talk more politics. You know what happens when me and you talk politics. It's fine. I accept. I allow people to make mistakes.
We all have a present.
But I allow people to make mistakes. It's fine. And we all do. And we all did.
Thanks, man.
Sorry, did I say that? Okay.
But I mean, who doesn't want to meet their country's president? Doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what the media is saying about that.
I don't think Zuma's a bad guy. Must be honest with you. You think I think he's a bad guy.
No,
I don't.
No, I don't.
I think he's a nice guy to have tea and coffee with and stuff like that. I'm just not sure if he's good in counting and spelling and those kind of things. I'm just not sure about those things. But that's fine.
I can't blame him on that because of his background. He grew up, in apartheid South Africa, and I can't blame him for that. I can't blame any of our leaders for anything that has happened in this country because they grew up in a time that they also needed to get through.
Yes, correct.
So I commend them for that.
Yes. No, Stephen, I know where you stand so politically. I know we had this discussion early on and we said that we understand. I mean, it was 700 charges, throw 500 away, there's 150 left, it's fine, I get it, I get it, it's fine, don't worry. But be that as it may, I think what's important is that I'm sitting with somebody that's sort of with a white background, supports the ANC, supports Jacob Zuma, and I get that, that's fine. That for me is important because it shows that we as South Africans have matured and that we can talk and we can joke about all of it.
I had to say something about that because now you've put it out on national TV, Look, I think it's important for us to investigate the truth and not to go out and look at what the media tell you. Yeah. Look at what you know as facts. Look at
It's just ironic of you saying that.
Why?
You're part of the media.
I am.
You're not supposed to say that.
I can, because I have my own opinion too. And facts are important. And until you can come up, when you look at an article, I read it. I look at the headline, look at the article, but I also do my research as well. Sometimes I'll phone the people and say, is this true? And they'll say, no. Research is important, knowing the facts. So yes, I might support ANC on a national level, but in the Western Cape, I might support the DA because of what they're doing here. Because obviously the ANC needs to sort themselves out in the Western Cape, and yes, I will say that because it's true. So yes, but I'm open to, other parties that have come along like COPE and Agang. I think that's important for South Africa to have alternatives, and it makes the ruling party to wake up and say, okay, we need to do more. That is important.
If COPE is coping, you will support them and stuff like that. That's fine. But I love your approach.
Because I think it's good for democracy. Sadly, they weren't weak enough because it implodes all the time because people are always out for I'm the leader.
In politics.
Yes.
And that's the issue. But Stephen, so we're going forward and the chat about politics, that's fine. I always just wanted to get you on that, but it was fine. Yeah, I always wanted to chat to you about that because I watch you very closely on Twitter. You're strange enough because I think our accounts are fairly as busy as each other's ones. So, but
I can't say that I will never vote for Donald Trump ever. That I can't say.
There's a new thing that I know that Trevor Noah in the last couple of days has started this new thing called Week Donald Trump. And it's a brilliant clip. Actually, I want you to have a look at that. But going forward, advice, youth. Our youth are in a very strategic space in South Africa. They find themselves in an area where unemployment is there. We're looking at a challenging rand at the moment with the economy sitting where it is. We're looking at various aspects happening internationally, and then we're talking about challenges in education and various other facets of the life of South Africans. And then we also know that South Africans, I know that a recent paper that I wrote said that 1 in 5 have gone through risk behavior, and risk behavior is determinant of depression and that sort of thing. So we find challenges. What's your advice in this time to South Africans, especially the youth, going forward?
You know what I hate is that South Africans, I mean, no disrespect to any South African watching this at the moment, is that we are lazy. We sit with our hands like this when we should be saying to ourselves, okay, no matter if I'm white, no matter if I'm colored, no matter if I'm black or Indian or whatever race I am, I have the ability to do and be more. You cannot wait. I promise you, the Jacob Zuma government, Helen Zille, no party is going to come to you and say, knock, knock, hello, Stephen Taylor, here's a job for you. Here's a house. Oh yeah, while we're at it, let's just give you everything that this country has to offer. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Correct.
So people need to create their own destinies and be who they want to. And that defines who you are.
I don't know if you get this, but people normally ask, how do you get into television? And there's this image that goes around that I'll sit on Long Street waiting for Steven Spielberg. No. He will say, you fit into my movie, and there you're off to Hollywood. Doesn't happen.
But that's the same approach that people have with government. You know, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen. So your advice to youth is that make things happen, I suppose.
Go out there, and if you want advice, Faizal's here, I'm here. There's other people that will give you advice and say, look, try this or try that. There's many, the door is open in South Africa. That's what people don't understand. And you can't wait for government to do everything for you, because they're not. No government is going to, anywhere in the world.
I always bring up this saying. It says that the opportunity of a lifetime only exists during the lifetime of the opportunity. So every opportunity has a lifetime on its own. Yes. So this means that you need to harness that, take that, go forward with it, make the change that you want to see. Be the change that you want to see, like Mahatma Gandhi said. Stephen, thank you. It was nice having you on the show. I want to catch up with you soon again, after voting, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Thank you. The real Stephen Taylor with me. Follow him on Twitter. The details has been on screen throughout the show. Somebody very interesting. Someone hosting our new show called Talking Point. And I suppose it is a talking point after you've watched that. Until next time, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.